We just spent 12 days in Andalucía, so come along with us as we take you through what we did day by day. This is day 2 of 2 in Granada, and our main event of the day was the Alhambra. We arrived at the Alhambra a bit before 9:30. If you're staying in the city center, I would recommend walking through the Puerta de Justicia entrance, as most of the major sites of the complex are located there. I think it was about a 15-minute walk for us from the historical center. Tickets will grant you access for an entire day, but you do have to book a time slot for the Nasrid palaces, and it's very strict. Ours was at 10:30, so we were a bit unsure what we'd have enough time to do within the spare hour. We first went into the Charles V Palace. There is an art museum here on the second floor, but it was closed on Monday when we went, so this ended up being quite a short visit. We then tried to go back into the Nasrid palaces, but they didn't take us as we were still half an hour early, but the attendant was super nice and urged us to visit the Alcazaba in the meantime, and that we'd have enough time to do so. So we did just that, and we did have enough time. This is a fortress, so there isn't really any interiors to visit. It has you walk through the outside facade and through various lookout points, and there's some really beautiful views up here of Granada, including the best views of the Sierra Nevada, and there was even still some snow left on it when we visited in May. So now onto the Nasrid palaces, which is the main event of the Alhambra. We really took our time here as there's a lot of rooms, alcoves, and details to experience. The sheer amount of carved ornamentation and calligraphy is just mind-boggling, and the palaces are really well preserved despite its age. The irrigation systems are still operable, and there's the famous Fountain of Lions, which once functioned as a clock. These palaces were hands down the most beautiful historical site of our trip. The last part of the complex is the Generalife, which is a massive garden complex located on the far entrance of the Alhambra. We strolled around here. The gardens were exquisite with beautiful views across the city. There were even some interiors with the same carved ornamentations as we saw in the Nasrid palaces. We ended our visit around 12:30, so in total we spent about 3 hours in the Alhambra. We grabbed a quick bite to eat outside the complex and then made our way to Carmen de los Martires, which was just a quick walk away. This ended up being such a hidden gem, and I wish we had arrived a little bit earlier as it closes at 2 p.m. This park is beautiful with gorgeous gardens, the same Moorish interiors reminiscent of the Nasrid palaces, and even peacocks. We made our way back into town and took it pretty easy for the rest of the afternoon. We went to a teteria for traditional Arabic tea, which is something unique to Granada, and then we walked around the central area of Granada a little bit more. For the evening, we had booked a flamenco dance in the caves of Sacramonte, so we made our way up there through Paseo de los Tristes a little earlier to explore the neighborhood. This was seriously one of the highlights of our trip. Such a unique and fun activity. I highly recommend putting this into your itinerary if you have the chance. We booked ours through Get Your Guide at the Cuevas de la Rocío, and it came with a drink included. The live musicians and dancers were incredible. It was such an intimate performance given the cave setting. Walking back to our Airbnb for the night came with some great views of the Alhambra, all lit up, and that concluded our stay in Granada. Stay tuned for day 3 where we move on to Cordoba.